Hello there, you lucky devils. What are you guys doing?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no Russians. There are no Mongols. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Oh, you better bet your bippies he reads everything. Right before showtime, some news broke. Hi, Anthony. I realize it's confusing to stream to both YouTubes at the same time. It's not. It's going to go on for a while. I won't lie to you. Hi, Pat Thomas. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Gary. Gary, you getting your notifications again? That's good. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to the title of this episode, you know how people were already chatting. You saw the news, right? Let me see something here. Let me get this off of here for a second. Okay, I got my alerts. That's good. Outstanding. Okay. News, big news. Big news. Sister Mary Chesnick, remember her? Remember the documentary, The Keepers? But I'm in the middle of looking at something else really quick. But I may do an episode about Sister Mary tomorrow. You saw an explosion at Consolidated Edison in New York? Well, that's another story. Hi, John. News about Sister Mary. Okay, well, I'll just have to worry about this later. Where was I? Sister Mary Chesnick. Murder of Catherine Chesnick. Not Sister Mary, Sister Catherine. That's all she needs. That's all she needs right now. Need to get her name wrong. So the original cause of death was determined. Wait. Oh, there's a whole bunch of new news. A 2023 investigation of similar crimes in the Baltimore area has shed new light on this case. Okay, let me do this. We have no secrets here with the Stones Unturned podcast. Maryland Attorney General releases report of decades of sex abuse by Catholic priests. Then there's the Spanish language version. Yeah, I'll try to do this tomorrow. Remember, Werner Spitz came up with this time of death, which gave the prime suspect an alibi. Several days later, November 13th, 1969, the body of Joyce Malecki, a 20-year-old woman who looked like Werner, was discovered. The witness was discovered by two hunters. Sesnick's body was not found until January 3rd, 1970. Okay. Let me look at news. They've done a new autopsy. Okay, let's look at an old story. Cause of death. Cause. Oh, you don't need to be hearing that. Okay. Exhumed priest DNA doesn't match evidence in case of Sister Kathy slaying. So somebody else killed her. Crime scene evidence. What about the body? All these murders unsolved. Two more 16-year-old girls, Joyce Malecki, all unsolved. Okay, that's enough of that. Told you I was going to be late. No. The hardest fucking setting to get to. Do not disturb is on. There we go. What was the original cause of death? Inside the grisly unsolved murder. So they have something about cause of death, right? Oh, okay, so there was both blunt force trauma and strangulation marks on her neck. So what are they going to look for in this new autopsy? I don't know if they've concluded the autopsy yet or not. They have exhumed the body. You guys probably know all about it. So they haven't released. Okay, a lot of headlines flying around. They may have, like, the original cause of death was strangulation, and now it's been changed to blunt force trauma or something. Because Werner Spitz worked on the original autopsy. So it took them a long time, but they did it today. I know, I just saw it on Fox. Let me look at my fake book. Hold on a minute. What the hell? Anyway, go back to my feed. Fox News, FBI exhumes body. On Thursday, exhumed the remains. Oh, Joyce Malecki. They're digging them all up? That might be a good start. She did look like Sister Mary, or Sister Catherine. I'm going to go wash my mouth out with soap. In honor of Sister Kathy, I'm going to go wash my mouth out with soap. Yeah. Spitz claims that Sister Kathy died of blunt force trauma. Maryland authorities, and this is Baltimore. Missouri woman's family believes her death. Oh, you can see this. You can see this stuff. No, not just an autopsy report. A Werner Spitz autopsy report. Police tied DNA from a man named Forrest Clyde Williams III, who died in 2018, to Conyers murder. You notice they always catch these people after they're dead? Killing of Maryland high schooler solved 52 years later. Special agent in charge Tom Sobokonski, Baltimore office. Officials have not linked him to other unsolved crimes. So he could have been a hitman. He didn't know her. There was no evidence linking him to Pamela Conyers, so he didn't know her. So he could have been a hitman. Huh. That's right, Shane. That's right. Yeah, watch that documentary. Now, it's going to rip your guts out. It's not just about murder. It's going to really... I had to take a whole bottle of horse tranquilizers to keep from kicking in the TV screen. It's not quite as horrifying and simultaneously infuriating as the trials of Gabriel Fernandez, but it's on the same track. And it's an extremely well done documentary. One of the reasons I agreed to be on the Peacock Zodiac Killer documentary was because I hadn't watched television in years. Remember, true crime documentaries used to be trash. But this was one of the ones I watched, and I'm like, wow, this is good. The Disappearance of Maura Murray, that was a lot of the same producers and people involved. That was really good. The Confession Killer. The Sons of Sam isn't bad, but once again, you're starting with you're starting off on the wrong foot. What I need to be doing... Give me a minute. I have a slideshow going, right? I have a PowerPoint going, right? No. There's another documentary you need to watch. Oh, crap. If you haven't seen the Netflix documentary about Jeffrey Epstein, you need to watch it. I'm going to tear it apart starting Sunday. But you need to watch it before I tear it apart. It would help a lot. What's it called? Netflix, Jeffrey Epstein. If you get it, don't go spending money you don't have, but especially since it's right before Christmas. There are 3 episodes? How many? Filthy Rich. 4 episodes. I think it's 4 hours. Just remember this. Maybe not with Sister Kathy, but with the different... Watch out. Watch out you don't do something stupid like feel sorry for somebody, because that's the easiest way to get yourself fooled, is start feeling sorry for people. Okay? I'm going to start tearing apart the first episode of Filthy Rich. Just when you watch episode 1, be very careful who you feel sorry for, because you will see. Yeah, I couldn't... Yeah, I sat through the Gabriel Fernandez documentary because I have to. It's my job. Okay, Pat Thomas, watch Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich. Just remember this. Just how did any Netflix documentary get made about Jeff? How did any Jeffrey Epstein documentary get made? And think about what they're doing. What they're doing now is, and this documentary is we're going to blame everything on Epstein and now the whole, and Ghislaine, and now the whole problem solved. There's no longer a problem. It was all them. It was none of us. They're gone. The problem is solved. The second thing is, ask yourself what dominoes have been falling ever since Epstein and Maxwell got arrested. Dominoes have fallen. He died before he could talk. She's been talking her head off, and I'm going to show you starting Sunday what I'm talking about. There have been 100 suspects busted so far. But they're pretending like it's got nothing to do with Epstein and Maxwell because it wasn't just Epstein and Maxwell. But Ghislaine has been yakking her head off, as predicted. Why wouldn't she? Why would she keep her mouth shut? Look at who she's trying to, look at who wants to be protected. Why would she protect those people? There's a really funny connection to Untermeyer Park, Pat Thomas, that you will see real soon. Real soon. Actually played the film Manny to the student body. What's going on, Shane? The Is Adorables? Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Untermeyer Park. It's funny that Manny's been to Untermeyer Park 100 times on his show. I'm probably ignoring people. Hold on. I don't mean to ignore people on the other YouTube channel. Worked again. That's great. Hi, Ross. Ross Garassi of Planet X Filmworks. So, maybe I don't have to do an episode about it tomorrow. Real soon. But the Epstein, I'm like, oh my God, I was just Christmas. I'm going to do. The second thing you need to know about Epstein is that Epstein is the Charles Manson of the Epstein crime family. Jeffrey Epstein was not the most important person in that operation. He was important, but he's nowhere near the most important person. Once again, cherchez la femme. Ghislaine Maxwell was more important than... Epstein was a tool that was being used. He didn't mastermind shit, except he super math genius, which is unusual for a sociopath. So we're probably talking Asperger's syndrome. No conscience, and no judgment whatsoever. Like, he was being really stupid until he met, well, I don't want to spoil everything. You know there's a Ghislaine before Ghislaine, right? But before these two broads, Epstein was just a loose cannon. Everything Epstein, ham-fisted financial crimes, no finesse, no cover. But he gets busted and then he makes this deal, and from then on. So now that he's dead and she's in jail, you think, well, the whole thing's over. No, it isn't. I'm going to show you the operation is alive and well. And it has a bizarre connection to Untermeyer Park. It's not that bizarre. Manny, when he worked for the Bronx Botanical Gardens, he took Jeffrey Epstein's dad's old job. You know that, right? Yeah, the funny thing about that documentary is you just know there's attempted spin control going on. And I'm watching that documentary going, If you don't know any better, if you don't have my previous experience dealing with con artists, criminals, career liars, we call them career deceivers. They lie all the time. People hear sex trafficking and they point to a man and they crucify him and the whole thing's over. Charles Manson was nothing but that. Who was his wife? Charles Manson learned how to pimp from his wife. Wyatt Earp learned how to pimp from his wife. Jeffrey Epstein learned how to pimp from his girlfriends. He didn't create any of that. He was a financial calculator. The computers can do this now. They don't even need him anymore. One reason they got rid of him is they don't need him anymore. Second thing is, most of what he was doing is no longer illegal anyway. You'll see. The third thing is, blockchain is not just for cryptocurrency. Blockchain is for totally anonymous contracts, and not just for drug smugglers and human traffickers, but between General Motors and human traffickers, General Motors and narcotics traffickers, General Motors and money launderers. You don't know who the other person is. Totally double-blind contracts over blockchain. This is bigger than cryptocurrency. Is like artificial intelligence. It keeps you chumps busy watching the shiny, so you don't pay attention to what's really going on. I'm not joking. You people have no idea what's going on. That's why you need me. I'm finally ready to start telling you. I've been telling you what's been going on for the last 200 years. Now I'm ready to tell you what's been going on for the last 200 minutes. And I thank you for your patience and support. It will be worth it. It will be worth it. All right, I'll try not to distract myself quite so much. What else is going on? Let's get back to the news. I like this, but I'm not going to show it to you. Professor Dad is going to be all Trump. Oh, Dick Gregory from St. Louis. Dick Gregory's from St. Louis. You know that, right?
Santa Claus, Diego Garcia.
So,
wait.
Sorry.
Diego.
Hold on.
It's one of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So,
wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas, for Texas Instrument. Right. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instrument, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. And then here's a friend of yours who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all.
He's close. He's real close. This does have a lot to do with patents. Now, the details of the plane, and I know this, he's real close to what we're going to start talking about on Sunday. Real close. And not just electronics and computer patents. Intellectual property. Let's just say intellectual property. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube already. He's real close. Okay, I can't resist this one.
Pacific all the way across the. Well, we're going to end and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. We have plans to.
Diego Garcia, presumably, would be one of the islands where this Trans-Pacific Railroad would stop, right? I don't know if there's any connection. This is actual footage of me trying to unload my dryer. Hold on.
Fucking damn it! Oh, fucking damn it! Oh, fucking damn it!
Trigger warning. Don't watch this video. Do not watch this video. Do not watch this video.
Hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish.
This is not a deep fake.
Hey! Do you need to leave? No, bitch!
Hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. On the drag queen.
Oh, this, you guys, listen. You guys, this is what you paid for.
Some strawberries, and I'm offering exactly.
How do I get these stupid
I'm
things?
going to buy some strawberries.
How do I get... I don't want these stupid things to be muted. I want them to play. If I want to mute it...
I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take my strawberries outside.
You can't
If
take
you want
that.
to call the police,
You can't take
call
that.
the
Police is on their way. You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that.
I paid by legal tender.
No. Don't break the door. Do not break the door.
No, don't touch. I paid by legal tender, and I am going out with my strawberries.
It is legal tender.
I paid by legal tender in this.
This is why we need old people. Old people don't give a fuck. I have not had financial relations with my father. You sound like Bill Clinton. What's this one?
This clip, it's so interesting. When you
don't auto mute Instacrap. I can now stream live to Instacrap. Open a terminal? Roy Hodgson, the Crystal Palace manager? That's Piers Corbin? Which one's Piers Corbin? The guy paying with legal tender? Jonathan, can you email me? That would be nice. Kissinger? I'm sure he was in on it. You think Jelaine will give names? She already has given names. There's been 100 people arrested. Not all, but she's been talking. Young girl falls in love with her psychologist. That's right. Duck is adorables, if you will. You mean Google is adorables? I know without one reason I got a phone. I don't have to wear my glasses all the time. I understand. The Is Adorables are a group of 6 young girls. Oh, I thought this was slang for victims of Hollywood pedos. Dance under the instruction of Isadora Duncan. Mostly German, danced in modern style, barefoot and aesthetic dancers. Relocation to New York City. Well, you know, she was all jungled up with those Wall Street guys that... Toward 60 cities under Saul Hurok's management. Wasn't there a comic book, Hurok, Son of Stone? I learned to read. My brother helped me learn to read by helping me Turok, Son of Stone. There's a video? Oh my God. Oh my God. Theatrical release poster? They made a movie of Turok, Son of Stone. I recognize some of these covers. I recognize that one. It's been over 50 years. I'll bet it's got to be over 50 years. Yeah, they're saying it started in the 50s. I remember they were old comic books. Got them at a thrift shop. Got like 58 issues for 25 cents or something. I know I remember that one. I remember that one vividly. I remember this one. Oh man, when you're 5, 6 years old, this is how you learn how to read. Then I could take it to school and read it to my classmates, see? They thought I was so cool. A comic book about Native Americans and dinosaurs. Whatever happened to Cadillacs and dinosaurs? Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Is that on YouTube? D'Souza Productions, CBS from 93 to 94. I just remember going to my buddy's house and he would watch this. Was it on cable? Saturday morning lineup? It must have been on Saturday mornings. It was a comic book and then there was a video game. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. I'm going to watch that tonight if it's on. Not the worst comic. This was... I think it's all about dinosaurs coming back, right? Official full episodes, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. I'm probably going to get a... If you haven't seen Cadillacs and dinosaurs, I'll tell you what was good. Cowboys and Aliens. That's a good movie. Jon Favreau, Harrison Ford, the Bond guy. It's the best alien invasion movie I've ever seen. It's like the most believable. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. What was my point? The Isadorables. What was your point about the Isadorables? Benjamin Franklin knew what was up with the patent office. There's a lot of crime involved. Pierce Corbin? Who runs a very accurate weather prediction site? Dick Gregory? Legal tender means it is money. Legal tender means that you have to take it as payment. Legal tender means all debts, public and private. You have to accept legal tender as payment. I don't think U.S. money, there's some technicality about it. I know what you're talking about. But he means legal tender means you have to accept it as payment whether you like it or not. And he's right about that. That's what legal tender means. Daniel Craig. Land of the Lost. Now, I don't mean to defend David Gerald, but the universe he created for Land of the Lost is brilliant. There was cheesy acting, low budget. They've spent all the budget on special. Nowadays, this would be the greatest show. They need to reboot that as a gritty reboot. It's a brilliant universe. What was the Sleestak guy, that scientist that caused the whole thing? It takes a long time for him to admit that he's the cause of the whole problem. They don't go back in time. They fall into this miniature universe, and some dinosaurs have fallen in there. It was a brilliant show. It just didn't have a lot of money. I hate to give David Gerald credit for anything. His adorables were honeypots. Really. I believe it. The guy with the money is Piers, Jeremy Corbyn's brother. Who's Roy Hodgson, the Crystal Palace manager? You're not talking about the Crystal Cathedral. Okay, Crystal Palace. Best Saturday morning show ever made? It's up there, buddy. Speed Racer was the greatest cartoon ever made. I still watch it. It's mind-blowing. Speed Racer, the original, I've got it on Blu-ray. I've got all 52 episodes on Blu-ray. It's mind-blowing what they skimped on and what they didn't skimp on. It's mind-blowing. It's supposed to be set in America, but the Japanglish dialogue had to be... there are only 3 voiceover actors to do every character, and there are lines of dialogue. I'm going to donate my winnings to Mr. Klepto. There's this old man named Lightfingers Klepto. And Speed wins this race and he wins this prize money. I'm going to donate my money to Mr. Klepto. Because Speed Racer is dumber than a box of rocks. He is an idiot who can drive a car. He's such an idiot. And his girlfriend Trixie... no last name. She drives better than Speed. She flies helicopters. She flies airplanes. But she doesn't want to be a world champion racing car driver. She wants to be the girlfriend of a world champion racing car driver. Therefore, Speed must be world champion. It's a show that teaches children to climb into the trunks of unattended cars. Trixie runs like a girl, but she flies helicopters. There's nothing Trixie can't do. And she's in high school, too. It's a cartoon. When you're playing with your cars out in the driveway, or God forbid, out in the street, when you look at the scale, you'll see these race cars. They're like 20 race cars in one lane of a highway. That's because they're toys. And then you see the stunts that happen. They're not realistic. The physics on the show is not realistic. Sometimes there's a scene with a rail car, a long top fuel dragster, deploying its drag chute. But it looks, the way the road is going by, it looks like the car is pushing the drag chute. The road is going by the wrong direction. The accidents that happen. There's a race that takes place inside a live volcano. How's that for a cartoon? The world's most dangerous race is called The World's Most Dangerous Race. You'll also notice I've never once seen, you'll notice there'll be these crashes. There's no fire trucks. There's no ambulance. There's no first aid. You have to drag yourself out of the burning car. Otherwise, Speed Racer. The best theme song. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. It was a band in Philadelphia recorded the theme song. And it's great. They wrote and recorded the theme song. Here he comes. Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. I don't think the Japanese totally understood American culture. It's supposed to be set in America, about an American kid and his American family. You can tell by the American names. Cornpone Branch. Didn't the actors say anything when they're reading these lines? Like, that's not how we say it in America. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Lines of dialogue will just slay you. So they were honeypots? Okay, I'll look into that. Because Zelda Fitzgerald studied, because of her name, she got to with Isadora Duncan, right? Isadora Duncan invented the modern supermodel. 6.5 feet tall, 92 pounds, ballet trained. Isadora Duncan became very famous as a model. Then, and the Ford Modeling Agency now, dance is much better for kids than martial arts. You shouldn't study martial arts till your body has done growing. Sorry, but you can study dance. Carradine, John Carradine, Kung Fu. He became a real black belt, but he started as a dancer. He had already trained as a dancer, so learning martial arts was easy. She died being strangled by her own scarf, and she invented modern dance. The live-action Speed Racer movie, I liked it because of all the reasons I love the TV show. But I loved it when I was a kid, and I love it even more as an adult because it's everything. There will be a scene, I got it on Blu-ray. You watch it on a big screen TV, the Blu-rays of Speed Racer are worth it. Because there will be a scene of startling beauty. Like, they'll do this beautiful background painting. And they cut a lot of corners, but they weren't trying to make a cartoon. They didn't hire any experienced animators, I don't think. They wanted to make an animated manga. Speed Racer was a manga, a comic book, and they wanted to animate that, but not like a cartoon. They didn't want an animation studio to do it. So I think almost every frame of that cartoon was drawn by the two original comic book artists with very little help. So there will be a scene of the most worthless excuse for non-animation you've ever seen. And then cut to the next shot, and it's beautiful mountain sunsets and races inside volcanoes. Two completely different cartoons and cut them together. I don't know how accidental it was, but there's so much grunting and groaning that sounds exactly like gay sex. It's hard to believe it was an accident. But it's not a theme of the show. It just sounds like it. And there's all that Japanese, oh! Somebody will give a 15-minute line of dialogue they'd have to say really fast, and the other character, Speed, just goes, oh! Okay, what were we talking about? This is mainly a test to make sure that people are getting their alerts. Hi, Leash. David Carradine, right? That's right. Well, you're a girl, Leash, so I think, right? If I remember correctly, aren't you a girl? It's an acquired taste. It's like olives. Keep watching it until you like it. It's just so... There's Rick and Morty and there's Speed Racer. If you want to just fall out of your chair laughing. But it's not like the whole cartoon sucks. There'll be a scene that's mind-blowingly bad. And the next scene will be mind-blowingly brilliant. It's just the accidents that happen. But you realize these are it's like you're watching a 6-year-old play with his toy cars. So my mother had a car, my father had a car, my brother had a car, I didn't have a car. And there's Speed Racer, and there's Spritle. My brother was a high school kid. He was, he was older than I was, and I was the happy echo afterthought child, okay? The baby of the whole extended family. So my brother and my dad built me a Mach 5. That was my brother's auto shop project. Building me a Mach 5, a little gas-powered, took a lawnmower engine and built me a little go-kart. I had my own Mach 5. It was like watching my family on TV. Like, it was like, I could really imagine because my brother took me to all remember when remember those guys used to drive their cars to the race? AJ Foyt and those guys, remember when it was a shoestring backyard operation? I met all those guys as a kid. They're selling t-shirts and bumper stickers out of the trunks of their cars. Literally, they would put the street tires back up. They were stock cars. They would drive to the next race. The Snake and the Mongoose. I met those guys, got to see them race before all this stuff got really big. So watching Speed Racer was like watching my life to a great extent. It was so cool. It was so cool. Yeah, there's no way to undo the mute, right? You guys, it's getting very annoying. 2 shows at the same time, 2 streams at the same time, 2 channels at the same time. This is true. I'm testing that out. This is eventually going to be Professor Dad, and then To Stones Unturned podcast will eventually have its own YouTube channel. Because with the presidential election coming up, and assuming Trump is going to be in it to win it, then I'm going to start doing a lot more Professor Dad. Lady that drove the cotton pony? You're not talking about Shirley Muldowney. Her car wasn't called the Cotton Pony. Because we were huge. The buddy of mine who was the adult who was hooked on Cadillacs and dinosaurs, we were huge Shirley Muldowney. I never got to see her race in person. We were huge fans of Shirley Muldowney. Huge fans. I have driven a methane fueled. I've driven a top fuel methane. Get all that? No, the nitrous. I've driven one. It's fun. I've driven a rail car. It's fun. Who are you talking about? It wasn't her, right? Bunny Burkett? I am not a NASCAR fan, but I'm a drag racing fan. Oh, she funny car. Okay. I think I remember that. I do remember watching Shirley Muldowney because she'd been around forever. She was racing long before I was born. You see her at Del Mar? That's cool. That's very cool. Women are lighter. And see, women actually make better jet pilots. But those G-forces, right, when you're flying, the men have the upper body strength, but they black out. Women, flying by brain, when the brain operates the plane, a man can take 6 or 7 negative G's before he blacks out. A woman can take like 11 to 13. And they don't weigh nothing. Shirley Muldowney weighed about 78 pounds. That's a huge advantage when you're racing a quarter mile. A huge advantage. Men would have to cut their legs off or something. Racer X. Unknown to Speed, Racer X is, in real life, his older brother, Rex. Nobody recognizes his voice. Nobody recognizes the cars. The car acrobatic team. Motorcycles dropping out of bombers. When you watch it on a big screen TV, they'll show like cockpit view, and like these people didn't know how to do a cartoon. A lot of women in those days, a lot of those interesting women were strangled with their own scarves, right? That was like the way to. It's almost like there was a serial killer. Dynaman? Remember Electro Woman and Dyna Girl? One of the prettiest actresses ever. She was on a soap opera. See, I'm older. So me, it was Scooby-Doo, The Bugaloos, Speed Racer, reruns of Bugs Bunny, then the Pink Panther cartoons. Then I was getting older, like it was because Land of the Lost came on in 75, right? But I watched it because the science fiction world and David Gerrold had written for Star Trek, so. Oh, Ace Ducey. The lead driver, the car acrobatic. What's funny is there's the one guy, it's not the guy from the car acrobatic team. One of Speed's rivals, the one where, never mind. He waits for the other drivers to catch up because there's been rain and they have to jump over this canyon. And it's like, if I go over and the other side collapses, the race will be over. You guys will never make it. So he waits for the other racers to catch up and they draw lots to see who's going to go first. So he's not really a bad guy. Everybody's super competitive. The evil people are the mammoth car. The mammoth car. It's 200 meters long. And you know what? It's based on an actual concept semi-truck trailer from Ford. If you've ever seen the mammoth car, Mammoth Ford semi-truck. There's models of it on eBay. This one. Somebody, yeah. I think somebody also, like they pegged it. It's like, this is, see, there it is. Oh, somebody actually did that already. That's cool. Yeah, this was a Ford concept semi-truck. But it's even bigger on Speed racer. It's like twice as big. And it's the fastest car in the world. No spoilers, but where'd the guy get the money to build that car? And he's not just using it as cover to commit a crime, but he insists on winning the race. This is all GT racing. It's all stuff we don't do in America. Yeah. They may have stolen that from me because I noticed it. Yeah, an experimental Ford semi-truck. Get to enjoy some primo eggnog. I do like a little bit of eggnog. Oh, the ISIS show. She was gorgeous. She triggered puberty. My brother was home from Germany, and he's like, wasn't she on ARC 2000 also? One of those shows, the camera was at crotch level, which is kid level, and all micro mini skirts, and my brother just thought that was hilarious. ISIS kid show. Now you're looking at it thinking it's some kind of creepy... The Secrets of ISIS. Joanna Cameron. She's in an episode, one of the best episodes of Columbo with Dick Van Dyke playing the photographer. She plays his assistant. From Greeley, Colorado. Maybe that was one of the reasons I watched it. It's probably from 75 to 76. Yeah, that's when, yeah, that show triggered puberty, that's for sure. Yeah. Because my junior high school English teacher was also smoking hot. She was college gymnast, and she just graduated. This was her first teaching job. Because the character of ISIS, it's like Shazam. She's a high school science teacher. Oh, you can't see this. Here we go. That's her. There's Joanna Cameron. Yeah. Was it ARC 2 or ARC 2000? Yeah, I was never the same. I showed up for English class. First day of school. And that Saturday, because we go back to school like on Friday to get your books and figure out where your classes are. And then the next morning there was the Secrets of ISIS, and it was all over for me. I started losing my hair. Started growing in my ears. Hey, Adam, you're just in time to miss me. All right, I'm starving. I'm going to get off here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, probably at 2 o'clock. So when you get a chance, watch the Epstein documentary on Netflix. Filthy Rich, because I'm going to tear that documentary apart. Then watch The Keepers. You don't try not to paint. You don't have to go up, but about Sister Kathy Chesnick, the murder, and a bunch of other murders, and the murder is like just a small part of that. Horrible. These were people who infiltrated the Catholic school system in Maryland. They weren't. I mean, it's a gang of pedophiles and child traffickers who infiltrated the Catholic school system in Maryland. So, hi, John. Oh. Sorry. And the boots. Oh, the banana splits. Have you noticed? I grew up on the banana splits. It was a TV show that looked like it was made by kids. You could make your own TV show. You don't need a TV camera. Get some cardboard and some paint and make a set and make some costumes. Get your friends together and make a show. Make a show. Make a variety show. And remember, that show featured a live action. They had segments, a live action version, basically, of Johnny Quest. And where's the Johnny Quest movie, by the way? Johnny Quest, but this one, instead of Haji, it was a girl. This was a live action show, segments on the Banana Splits, where a girl was doing an action adventure show. It wasn't specifically, but it was basically Johnny Quest, but it had a girl instead of Haji. Deidre Hall played Electra Woman. That's right. Deidre Hall. Okay, I got it. I'm starving. I'm going to pass out. Those Banana Splits guys were what? Acid heads? Probably. But remember, the whole show looked like it was made by kids. So ever since that show, I've been thinking about making my own. I studied photography and doing everything. And to do this, from the Banana Splits inspired this show. But that was one of the reasons I learned, was watching the Banana Splits. Yep, Deidre Hall. We solved that. Go eat a banana split. Oh, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. That band, there's a cover version of the theme song. 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 bananas, 4, 5 bananas, lots of many more, something like that. Yeah, you could make your own show. Remember those Judy Garland movies with what's his name, Mickey Rooney, trying to raise money? Their GoFundMe, they put on a show. They get their friends, they put on a variety show. I wanted to do that so bad. None of my friends had any talent. My brother had talent. My parents would beat me if I got anywhere near a musical instrument. They didn't want me having anything to do with the creative, lively arts because they saw my brother's dad struggle. So, but it didn't stop me. Nothing stopped me. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, stay well. Please spay and neuter your cannibals. They also did the song Supernova. It was a girl out front, Liz Phair. Liz Phair did a cover version of the Banana Split song. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Let me play the closing theme for a change, just so people know the show's over. Let people know when it's time to clap. I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
He reads everything.
That's the problem with live streaming. I never get the clap.